They say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay.
The first question is, did they have an open marriage? Absolutely they did. Okay. The card for love is saying that the card for love. Okay, I've got to read the entire arithmetic of these cards because it's not just one. So the arithmetic of these cards is saying that they did have an arrangement. They had an open marriage. It was completely arranged, and it was a truth. You know, the truth card is saying, look, Princess Diana, Prince Charles, who's coming up as a Prince of Wands, was definitely putting his penis in other castles. And it's not that Diana really cared, because just from the beginning, I don't get that she was that into him like that. But the love card and the truth card is saying that, hey, as long as we pretend like we're in love in the public, then you can do what you do and I can do what I do. So the marriage was open. It was not publicly open, but it was an open marriage. And I think that you can say that they definitely put on a good face. And it only worked, but for so long. I'd probably say maybe in the first 2-3 years of the marriage, it worked. As time, definitely as time had gone on, it became much more apparent that they lacked genuine intimacy between one another. So once the tabloids started picking up on that, I want to say that's when the arrangement was solidified. I don't know why I hear 1992, 1993. I actually don't care about being wrong about these dates. So please jump in my comments and tell me that I'm wrong, and tell me when it was that they started this open marriage, or when was it that they were reporting that Princess Diana was in an open marriage, because honestly, if this was 1993, I was 3 years old, so I don't really care. With that being said, I do see an open marriage, and the final tidbit of details that I can give to you is that Prince Charles cheated on Princess Diana first, but as soon as Diana started getting her a little penis every now and then, Prince Charles got a little jealous every now and then. Yeah. Okay, so my next question was, how does she feel about the queen? You know? She and the queen had a very decent relationship. Now, when I say decent, I'm essentially trying to convey the message that inherently these two never got along, okay? It's like oil and water, you know? It's like Donald Trump and the truth. They just don't mix. So the science card is saying that, their ideologies would clash with one another. I think that the queen had a respect for Diana's audaciousness. She also was a bit intrigued with her rebelliousness. But but the peace card is saying that they often, there was a lot of silent seething on behalf of both of their parts, where, Diana would say could be cordial, hold a smile with the queen. The queen could sit across from the table and smile at her as well. But, everyone knew that they didn't like each other, really. Now, that they ever exchanged words? No. I don't get that they exchanged words with each other to the point that Diana called her, an old ass bitch or anything. But I do think that there was this very nice, nasty politeness that they would always deliver to one another, kind of like, Diana would say, "Oh, Charles, can you have mommy pass the salt or something?" And the queen is sitting right next to Princess Diana, and on her left side, and her husband's on the right side, and she's telling her husband to get her mom, or her husband to get his mom to pass the salt to her. It's like that sort of thing, where it was much more of a symbolic rivalry than it was this out in the open, love and hip hop Atlanta sort of ish. Now the card for power is saying that the queen always felt that she had no real control over Diana. Like, she's like, I can't get her to do what I say. She doesn't get in line. She doesn't do the things that I want her to do. Why is she acting this way? Does she not listen to me? Does she not understand who I am? And as I said before, oil and water don't mix. So, and Diana always, she wanted her freedom. So, the peace that would come was the peace that the queen would have to give to herself, because she's like, I have to turn the other cheek. I have to ignore this. I have to leave it alone and focus on their bigger fish to fry, other than this heifer going out here and talking about she's about to end world hunger. Okay? So, with all of that being said, how they felt about each other, they were pretty nice, nasty with one another. Cordial, but not explicitly unfriendly. All right, my next question is, what was their relationship like? So I'm saying how Diana felt, but let's dig deeper into how did their relationship work? The queen was responsible for telling Diana how to please, how to care for, nurture, develop, honor, protect, serve, love, feed, wipe his ass, all that. She was completely instructed on how to care for her husband by the queen. I get the card for art, the card for the lovers, and the Queen of Cups. Now the Queen of I think this is, look, the royal family, Queen of England, Queen of Ukraine, it doesn't matter. But the Queen of Cups is essentially saying that the queen was wholly responsible for trying to mold Diana into a princess, and mold her into a chaste princess, a virtuous woman. The card for art and the lovers is saying that the queen had to take creative approaches to teaching Diana about her marriage. So, or how to please and care for her husband. The queen was definitely not fond of the open relationship. She thought that was just a complete travesty to the royal blood, and how dare you, allow another man's semen to enter into our family's vagina. So the lover's card is talking about infidelity. So she pretty much was teaching Princess Diana how to deal with long suffering. And once Diana chose to, make their marriage open and have her own boyfriend on the side, the queen then stopped. She left Diana alone and was kind of like, you know what? I can't deal with you. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to work with you. As a matter of fact, you're pretty much dead to me. And I'll see you at dinner time. I see her at dinner time, and then she tap her teacup with her spoon, and they would pick her up. They would pick, 5 men with muscles would come and pick the queen's throne up and carry her out of her palace. Okay. So the next couple of questions are, how does she meet James? How does she meet James Hewitt? Is James Hewitt the father of Prince Harry? And is Prince Charles the father of Prince William? Okay, so how did she meet James Hewitt? Meeting. Meeting. Is this a meeting, or was it that she had already known James Hewitt? I don't know if James was exactly new to her. I feel like James was one of those periphery friends, like a friend of a friend. And he got, he was able to finally, hang out with her when she got to hang out with her friends. The reason I say this is because the card for failure is saying that this wasn't a new relationship. I don't get that their relationship was new. And tell me in my comments if it was or wasn't. I mean, I would love to know if it was new or. I don't think that she met this man in a new way. I feel like she already knew who he was. So what I'm saying is, she didn't get initiated as a princess and then, meet James Hewitt. I feel like James Hewitt was the cousin of a friend or somebody that she had already known. The Ace of Swords is saying that it was like an aha moment when she re-encountered him. She's like, this is the guy for me. In the completion card is like she felt like this is her soulmate. The failure card is like a checking me about the question. It's like, how did she meet him? Because I'm like, did she meet him at a bar? Was this out and about? How did she? Just no. James Hewitt. She had already known James Hewitt. This wasn't a relationship that started as a no. All I'm saying is this relationship precluded Prince Charles, and that's all to say. How, as far as how they met, what I can see is, as far as I can see, Diana hung out in groups of people with him, or he was invited to an event or two that people were at, and as time passed by, there's the mutual circle that they hung out with, the mutual friend group that they hung out with slowly started to dwindle. So it's like, okay, it started where, hey, James Hewitt is at this event of 200 people. Then it goes to James Hewitt is, here with, some of my girls and some of my girls as boys. And it's like 9 of them. And then it got down to, James Hewitt is, coming, to tag along with me and my friend for this hangout session, or to go and take this trip. And then James Hewitt and I are hanging out one-on-one. All right. So is James Hewitt the father of Prince Harry? I'm just gonna say yes. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes to you. And the reason so if y'all notice, I went and pulled more cards for this row, for this second question, and I had to pull some more cards because I was like, when I pulled the first card, I saw the Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, damn, this ain't his baby. I mean, this ain't Prince Charles's baby. This is not his baby. Why you always lying? Why you always lying? Okay, but for real, I'm gonna stop singing. The Wheel of Fortune, the Abundance card, and the Princess of Swords is saying that the child isn't his, but she was constantly defending that the child was Prince Charles's, because the Abundance card is saying that, she didn't want to bring shame to this family. She didn't mind telling the truth. She actually wanted to come out and say, yes, I had a baby by another man. She wanted to be honest. Like, she wanted to live her life as a human being and to show that she lived a messy life. She's like, princesses live messy lives as well, and it was all to humble the universe. She wanted to come out and bring that story forward, but she was never able to. Why? Because I get the card for happiness. The card for cruelty, and then the sorrow card. This is saying that, look, the Wheel of Fortune is saying that there is already a good chance that this baby was James Hewitt's, Prince Harry is James Hewitt's son. But the card for happiness, the card for cruelty, and the card for sorrow is saying that once Prince Harry was born, she could look at this baby and she was like, yeah, that's James Hewitt's son. And she was happy for that. And she's like, yes, I got a baby by the guy that I really love. And I can at least, be happy for that. Now, the card for cruelty, on the other hand, is saying that she could never come forward with that truth. Because if she had came public with that truth, it was like, okay, girl, guess what's going to happen to you and guess what's going to happen to this baby. So the sorrow card is obviously, to me, finishing off this particular story where it's like, yes, this is bittersweet. Yes, this baby she had a baby by the man whom she truly loved. But the bitter part about it is that she can't be public with it. If she comes public with it, it tarnishes the name of the family and it puts her and her child in danger. The cruelty card is saying that the situation in itself was fundamentally fucked up for her. Spirit didn't care that she had a baby outside of the marriage, because Spirit is like, look, she had a baby. We're thankful that, she could usher in a new soul. But it came at a price. It came at this price to where she had revealed the truth behind who her son's father was. I think that she would have died a more premature death. The next question is Prince Charles the father of Prince William? Yes, he is. The Queen of Wands, the Strength card, the Ace of Wands is saying that there is no way that she can magic her way out of this one. The Strength card is about, I've said this before, you'll hear me say it again. I mean, there are multiple meanings to the Strength card from my interpretation, but my strongest interpretation of the Strength card is how feminine power can subdue or tame hypermasculine energy. The Queen of Wands and the Ace of Wands together is saying that, yeah, I mean, she rode Prince Charles's penis like a pony and she popped out a little Prince William. But Prince Harry is not the son of Prince Charles. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about these particular row of cards and the paternity of these children. But now we're about to move into what was her relationship like with Sirah, Duchess of York, her relationship with Camilla, Parker Bowens, and what was she truly like behind closed doors? Those are some really important questions that we want to answer. So let me go ahead and shuffle these cards. Okay, so the first answer, the first question to, the answer to the question of what was her relationship like with Sirah, the Duchess of York, similar to the one with the Queen, oil and water, Donald Trump and the truth, future and condoms. So the Prince of Cups, the Moon card, the Prince of Wands. Both of these women in this particular scenario had masculine energy, so there's this beef between them. I'm assuming that Princess Sirah, what is her name? I just said it. Princess Sirah of York. Sirah, Duchess of York. Well, yeah, Princess Sirah would be the Prince of Cups. Diana's the Prince of Wands, and then the Moon card is representing an illusion. So they didn't have a good relationship with one another because they could never see things eye to eye. It's justified, however. It's like, Princess Diana is, she can be robotic. She's very warm, very sweet. But when she's threatened or in confrontation with people, or she's around other people that she doesn't like, she would shut down, give the silent treatment. She was pretty stuck up, and she was very, secure in herself. Now, Sirah, on the other hand, was much more emotional, liked a lot of attention. It's like all eyes on me type of woman. I get that Sirah was jealous of Diana's popularity. I also get that Sirah was jealous of the fact that the royal family paid more attention to Diana, and Sirah just couldn't take that. It's like, she looked at Diana as like a badass child, and she's like, well, she's not even really born into this family. It's a lot. It was just a lot of jealousy, just a lot of jealousy on Sirah's part. Now, Diana stayed above the bullshit. The thing is that the moon card is between them. So it was like the queen would put it into Sirah's ear that she was more important than what she was. And that would start a lot of drama between them. And the illusion being that Sirah felt that Diana thought that she was better than. Sirah also felt that Diana was going to put the family and was going to tarnish the family's name and drive it into the ground. Diana felt that Sirah was a little punk, and Diana felt that Sirah, she just felt like Sirah was whiny. I mean, that was it. The truth of the matter is that, Sirah is just type A. She's loyal. She's the person that you employ she's going to take her job extremely seriously. If you tell Sirah you're the Walmart, you're the cashier that monitors people at the self-checkout, and you have to make sure that nobody's stealing, Sirah took her job so seriously. Not only would she call the police, she would football tackle you, ask for one of her colleagues to go into the toy section, get some plastic handcuffs, and try to subdue you until the police came. Now, the truth about Diana was Diana just chose. I mean, we already talked about Diana, but I'll just say this: she stayed above the fray. She was not indoctrinated into the royal family, as far as, this is the end all be all of her life. Diana was she was the type of girl that she was almost like 10 milliseconds away from saying, fuck all this shit. I'll spill all y'all business on TV. Kill me now, bitch. That's Diana was kind of sort of about that life. You know what I'm saying? But it came out in this very Victorian, Caucasian way of being about it, and sometimes I'd rather choose to be rebellious and than to be obedient, because life is about the expression of freedom, and rebelliousness promotes freedom, and condemnation limits my happiness, or something like that. Now, as far as her relationship with Camilla Parker Bowens, I don't know who this is, but I had to pull more cards on this shit because I was like, it's some tea. Now, Camilla Parker Bowens is coming up as the Princess of Cups. For me, the Princess of Cups is like the 16-year-old, 17-year-old girl in high school who's real popular, but she didn't go to college, and she ends up 38, 39 years old, and she just busted. She's got a fupa, and some more. She's posting on Facebook, and she capitalizes the first letter of every word. Okay, so the Princess of Cups, the Sun card, and then the Hangman are saying that one thing about their relationship is, the questions about how I feel like the tabloids or the gossip networks focused a lot on Princess Diana and this Camille Parker Bowens person. I feel like they didn't. I feel like their relationship was on the Moken stuff thing. He may come home to you at night, but he comes here all the time or something. I don't know. Put the lyrics in the comments. But I say this because the Knight of Discs just came up, and then the Queen of Wands, and then the Victory card. I'm just gonna say this: in the end, Camille Parker Bowens won. If they were fighting over a man, Camille won. Because Camille is coming up as the Queen of Wands in this. Ultimately, it's all to say, okay, so I didn't give a good explanation of the first row of cards. The first row of cards is saying that Camille Parker Bowens was at a crossroads with whether to come forward with truth and information that she had in regards to Princess Diana possibly sleeping with her nigga, or Princess Diana it's just they were beefing, okay? And I feel like it was over a man, and I feel like she was just wanting to say that Princess Diana was a thought, and she just never came forward and said it. I don't think that they had a particularly good relationship. I feel like she felt Camille is that Camille? Am I getting it correct? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know these people's names. Camilla felt like Diana was a little bit of a side chick or a little thotty. Now, the Knight of Discs, the Queen of Wands, and the Victory cards, these particular cards are saying to me that, it was a cat fight over a man. Camilla won in the end. She was victorious. And I don't know why I think this man was James Hewitt. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't James Hewitt. Maybe it was just another guy. Maybe these people were friends. I'm going to look it up on my Wikipedia. I do not mind being wrong. But with all of that being said, I get that was their relationship, one in which they were beefing over a guy. I don't think that they got along too well. I hear, like, the thing is, Diana was really unbothered by this Camilla woman, but Camilla was very shook. She was very shaken up over the presence of Diana in her life. I don't get that they were calling each other on the phone, cussing each other out. But I do, like I said, a silent seething they had for one another. Yeah, so that's it. If you all have follow-up questions, please leave them in the comments about Camilla Parker Bowens and Princess Diana so that I can investigate into this further. But this is as far as I can go because I don't know anything about these people, so I wouldn't even know what further questions to ask. And what was Princess Diana like behind closed doors? So behind closed doors, I get the card for truce, the card for peace, and the card for the Hierophant. What you get is what you see. Diana that's who she was. However she presented herself, if there are documentaries about her, that's who she was. They're not giving an inaccurate portrayal of her. If they say that she was a sweet superwoman who was out here trying to heal the world, that's really who she was. The card for truce, the card for peace, and the Hierophant is saying that the Hierophant is saying to me, she's about rules and structure because she's like in her head. I don't know if she's an air sign or an earth sign, but I get that she was just this really practical woman that she dealt with the facts. Kind of militant personality, she obeyed commands, obeyed orders, but they were her own commands and orders, but she was also pretty defiant. Now, the card for truce is saying that she didn't have a problem compromising with other people as long as they didn't infringe on her freedoms. And she was a sunshine and butterflies type of girl. She was definitely a flower child, like most of the people on the West Coast or, out there in California. So that's who she was behind closed doors. Beyond that, she liked who she liked. I don't get that she wanted monogamy. all her life. I don't think that in her entire life she wanted to be monogamous. I'll say that. And I don't think her entire life she wanted to be a wife. I don't think her entire life she wanted to be a princess. I think that at the heart of everything, she wanted to be a philanthropist and a business owner. And she thought that initiating as a princess would enhance or catalyze her ability to do that. So we're going to move into the next set of questions. And I'm going to actually stop the tarot reading right here. And in these next set of questions, I'm going to be using my spirit skull to divine for me. So hold on just one second.
Been a long time, but I still got love for you, and that won't ever change. San Jose. They say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay. San Jose. Girl, I know we tried to tell ourselves those lies.